This is Analog and Digital Communication Systems. The course code is EC501. It has 3 lectures per week and total 36 contact hour in the semester. It has 3 number of credit points. Myself, Dr. Indranath Sarkar, Associate Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering at JS College of Engineering, Kollani. It has 5 course outcome. At the end of the course, we expect the students will able to explain the importance of amplitude and digital modulation, demodulation schemes, analyze analog communication systems for their signal to noise ratio, efficiency and bandwidth, compare the advantage of various pulse modulation technique and analyze their system performance, demonstrate signal representation, analyze various digital communication techniques, can compute the bit error performance and compare their advantages and limitations. So these are the points we expect that students will able to demonstrate or explain or analyze or compute or compare. So all these things will make the students mastermind on this subject. There are 5 modules for this subject, and for each of the subject there are some contact hours limited to complete. There are 6 contact hours assigned to module 1 for introductory descriptions. For the module 2, random process has 6 contact hours. 3 contact hours assigned to module 3 on pulse modulation, 8 contact hours assigned to signal vector representation under module 4. In module 5, digital modulation technique has 13 contact hours. So total 13 plus 8 plus 3 plus 6 plus 6. So total 36 contact hours exist for the completion of analog digital communication systems. For like every subject has prerequisite, here is also the knowledge of signal vector representation, characteristics of additive wide Gaussian noise, geometric representation of signals, synthesizer, analyzer, signal vector, signal space, Euclidean space are required. Signals and systems is a subject which is covered in earlier semester, has many things to recall for the analog and digital communication system. So signal and system is an important subject before understanding analog and digital communication. Still there are mathematics, that is engineering mathematics covered up to 3rd semester, has plenty of mathematical equations such as the Fourier transformation, Laplace transformation. So those things are required to understand, as well as trigonometric applications are required for analog and digital communication. Statistical part will be revised here. So that is why if the basic statistical part required, it is needed to be recapitulated. Now these are the course outcome versus program outcome mapping. Now as the analog and digital communication has plenty of application in the domain of information technology, that is why we are finding there are almost all the program outcome has minimum contribution to one or more course outcome. The course outcome weightage 3 is given for high weightage, 2 weightage is given for moderate weightage, and 1 value is written, that is the numerical value 1 is given for least weightage to some program outcome. And if there is no such linkage, then it is kept blank. Now as the basic mathematics related, that is why it has high weightage to program outcome 1 and program outcome 2. Also it is dealing with several project oriented work, because in communication system various basic modulator, demodulator, as well as quantizer, equalizer, many circuits, basic circuits are utilized for the communication system. That is why it is also related to implementation of project. There are various projects which could be implemented using a communication circuitry. Also there are various mathematical equations required to reduce the noise addition to the transmitted signal. So transmitted signal are prone to noise. That is why noise elimination is one of the most important factor for analog and digital communication. Here the differences of analog and digital communication will be taught, and thereby students will understand how digital communication dominates over analog communication, but cannot avoid analog communication for the transmission of digital signals through wireless medium. So that is why various project related as well as seminar conferences, English languages, all are related and has weightage, as well as it has lifelong learning uh, because students may target for circuit implementation, that is their dream project may be implemented later. So that is why lifelong learning is also having higher weightage for each of the outcome. The course objective for analog and digital communication is to familiarize students with the fundamentals of analog and digital communication system, because analog communication is the primary communication system, thereafter digital communication has come. So comparison as well as their foundation knowledge required to be transmitted to the student, to provide students with tools and for communication signal analysis. So there are various mathematical tools, simulators that will be provided to students to better understand about the application of such tools, to familiarize students with various techniques for amplitude modulation and demodulation of analog signals, to develop the students' ability to determine the effects of receiver frequency and phase errors in synchronous modulation systems. So phase error or magnitude error are critical cases which will be studied under these objectives. To familiarize students with techniques for generating and demodulating narrowband and wideband frequency and phase modulated signals, to familiarize students with the basic techniques for generating and demodulating pulse code modulated signals, to familiarize students with issues pertaining to the transmission of digital signals over bandwidth limited communication channels. So with this we will start the analog and digital communication system. Hello, this is analog and digital communication. We are discussing module 5, digital modulation techniques. Today we will carry out some problems. The first problem states that the American Standard Code for information interchange, which is commonly known as ASCII code, has 128 characters which are binary coded. If a certain computer generates 10 lakh character per second, the minimum bandwidth required to transmit this signal will be 1.4 Mbps, 14 Mbps, 7 Mbps, or 0.7 Mbps. So regarding this, we need the knowledge of pulse code modulation. In case of pulse code modulation, we already have seen that there are n number of bits required to encode the quantized samples. In case of pulse code modulation, we know there are 3 steps. First is the sampling, thereafter quantization, and finally encoding. So after sampling, when we are quantizing, at that time the number of steps have been fixed. That is how many steps are required to quantize from peak maximum value to lowest value. So suppose there is a 4-fold peak to peak value, and if there is 8 number of steps, then the height of each step should be 4 by 8, that is 0.5 volt. So step size is very much important for the pulse code modulation, so that we can be able to encode each of the steps by suitable number of binary bits. So total number of steps from the lowest value to highest value, total number of steps are required and that gives us the number of quantization level. And if n number of bit is required to encode such quantized, there is n number of l number of quantization level, then n is equal to 2 to the power n. So this is a clear relation of the state of the number of bits with the step size, with the number of quantization levels, and step size may be related with the peak to peak value. Suppose 2 times of a suffix m, that is the maximum value of the message. Suppose 2 times of a suffix m is the peak to peak excursion of the analog signal. Then 2am divided by l will be the height of each step. So this is the relation between the step size, number of quantization level, and the peak to peak magnitude of the message signal. So in this way, interrelation gives us the relation between the step size, number of bits, and in this way we can also relate the number of character, because each character requires n number of bit. So therefore, if there is a m number of character, then m is equal to the power n. So in this case, there are 128 character exist for ASCII code, and each character is coded with 7 number of bits. Though this information is not written here, it's a general knowledge from which we are assuming that all have the knowledge of ASCII code, that is each of the character is coded with 7 bits. So that is why 128 can be written as 128 is equal to 2 to the power 7. So 2 to the power 7 is by breaking 128 also we are getting 128 is equal to 2 to the power 7. So there was 7 bit is the required number of bit to encode each of the character. Now for 10 lakh character, we need 7 megabit per second, because 7 into 10 to the power 6 produces 7 megabit number of binary bits, and that also required to be produced per second, because the character speed is 10 lakh character per second. So that is why number of bits required to be generated is 7 megabit per second. So such a high bit duration obviously reduces the that is character number of character increases, means the bit duration is reducing. So therefore, the minimum bandwidth required for the character transmission is 7 megabit per second. So this is the bandwidth for this problem. So therefore, the answer has been received. It is 7 megabit per second. Now, the second question states that a binary channel with capacity 36 kilobit per second is available for pulse code modulated voice transmission if the signal band limited to 3.2 kilohertz. Then the appropriate values of quantization level L and the sampling frequency will be whether 32 or 3.6 kilohertz, 64 7.2 kilohertz, 64 3.6 kilohertz, or 32 7.2 kilohertz. Now, as the message bandwidth is known 3.2 kilohertz, therefore the sampling rate must be at least 6.4 kilohertz or 6400 hertz. And since the number of bit n is required to encode uh, each of the sample, and it is written that 36 kilobit per second the binary channel has the capacity. Therefore, we can write NFS is less or equal to 6300, and thereby n is equal to 6300 divided by 6400, because 6.4 kilohertz is the sampling rate, and we should divide the sampling rate should divide the 36,000. So therefore, the result is 5.63. And since 5.63 is a fractional number, we can consider n is equal to 5, because the number should be less or equal to 5.63. We cannot round up, we have to round down the number, and the value is 5. Therefore, L is equal to 2 to the power n, and therefore we are getting the number of quantization level is 32. So therefore, the appropriate values of the quantization level L required is 32. So therefore, either either the option A or option D are correct. So let us see. The sampling frequency will be what? The sampling frequency will be given by 36,000 divided by n, because NFS is equal to 36 kilobit. So that gives us, since n is determined by the value 5, therefore sampling rate is 36,000 divided by 5, and that is equal to 7.2 kilohertz. Therefore, the option D is the correct answer. So this is question number 3. Another question number 3, it is showing that there is a binary pattern, logic 0 and logic 1 binary stream is given. So this figure shows a pulse code modulated signal in which the amplitude level is plus 1 volt and minus 1 volt are used to represent binary symbol 1 and 0 respectively. The code word used consists of 3 bits. The sampled version of the analog signal from which this pulse code modulated signal is derived. So therefore, if we break the pattern, we are getting, it is 2 number of 0, thereafter 1, then 0, 1, double 0, triple 1, double 0, 1, 0, 1. So this is the binary pattern required to be transmitted. The code is transmitted. So in first word, we are getting 0, 0, 1. The second word means 0, 1, 0. The third word means 0, 1, 1, means numerically 3, and thereafter 1, double 0, and thereafter 1, 0, 1. So therefore, the sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So in this way, we can determine the sample version of this analog signal. So here a problem is given on PCM. A PCM system uses a uniform quantizer followed by a 8-bit encoder. The bit rate of the system is equal to 10 to the power 8 bit per second. The maximum message bandwidth for which the system operates satisfactorily is 25 megahertz, 6.25 megahertz, 12.5 megahertz, 50 megahertz. So therefore here message bandwidth equal to W hertz. Now Nyquist rate is 2W. So therefore the bandwidth is 2W multiplied by 8, so equal to 16 in a 16W bit per second. Now since 16W is equal to 10 to the power 8, because the bit rate is given 10 to the power 8 bit per second, therefore W is determined as 6.25 megahertz. Question number 5 is 24 voice signals are sampled uniformly at a rate of 8 kilohertz, and then time division multiplexed. The sampling process uses flat top samples with 1 microsecond duration. The multiplexing operating includes provision for synchronization by adding an extra pulse of duration 1 microsecond. The spacing between the successive pulses of the multiplex signal is 4 microsecond, 6, 7.2 or 8.4 microsecond. We can find solution in this way, that sampling interval T is 1 by 8k, that is 125 microsecond. There are 24 channels and one sync pulse. So the time allocated to each channel is T divided by, so T is the 125 microseconds, so it should be divided by 25. Therefore, we are getting 5 microsecond. So the pulse duration is 1 microsecond. So the time between the pulses is 4 microsecond, because if the pulse width is 1 microsecond, then remaining 4 microsecond is the space between the two successive pulses, and the total time duration is 5 microsecond. Thank you.